Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I take this $5 tote that I picked up at the Target dollar spot, turned it into an Anthropologie inspired tote using this tote from Anthropologie as my inspiration, using these materials right here. So stay tuned. So you need some pom-poms, and you either need to buy some or you need to make some. I chose to make mine because that's cheaper to go that route. I use toilet paper holders, put two of them together. I take my yarn and I take one end and the other end of the same roll of the yarn, and I just wrap it around the toilet paper rolls after securing it in the center there like you see. I do that, I wrap it about 72 times. That gives me 144 loops. And then I don't have to wrap it 144 times. I only have to wrap it half that amount of time. There's many tutorials out there on making pom-poms. This is my way of doing it, but there's others too. Many of those tutorials are going to be better than mine. Anyways, I have all of my loops wrapped here, so now I'm going to cut myself about, I don't know, 12 inches or so piece of yarn, and then I'm going to slip it in between the two cardboard rolls. And that's going to be how I tie this. So this is going to be the middle of the pom-pom being tied right here like you see I'm doing. And I'm going to not pull it tight. I'm going to slide it off the rolls as you see I'm doing. And now I'm going to pull it really tight, and you want to make sure it's centered. You want to tie it in and out a couple of times to make sure that it's real good and secure. And if you see, I'm there. It's not exactly even, so I'm trying to get it even and so that it's all the way that it should be. Now the next step that I'm taking here is, now you see I have these loops on either side. So I'm going to take a sharp pair of scissors. I just purchased these, so these are sharper. And I'm going to cut those loops. And so when you cut them, they start to resemble somewhat a pom-pom. And I'm going to cut both sides. And I try to get most of them, but don't worry, if you don't get most of them, you'll get some of them later on when you finish trimming. Now I've cut out some discs in a size that I want. I've used cardboard to do that, and I have a hole punched through one of those. And I'm going to take the ends of my tie that I tied in the middle to secure my pom-pom, and I'm going to slide those through the hole so that they don't accidentally get snipped off. And then I'm going to use these cardboard circles as a template to snip more of my pom-pom down to the size that I want. And you can see there's a lot of extra yarn there. And it may seem like, a waste of yarn, but I don't know. If you like pom-poms, I found when I was making them, I really got addicted to making them, and I'd go to the store and I'd be like, oh, I want to make one in this color, and oh, I want to make one in this multiple different colors. And you can use two different yarns if you'd rather do that, or you can use a multicolored yarn. There's just a lot of different things you can do. And so I like making them. I don't know. You can make them while you watch TV, put a movie in, whatever. I find it kind of fun and relaxing. So I'm trimming these, and I'm actually going to keep trimming, and there's more trimming to do even after this. All right, so I'm done trimming that side, and now I'm going to remove the template, and I'm going to actually turn it over on the opposite sides. You see I still have some loops there that I need to trim, so I'll be taking care of those. But now I'm taking the template and I'm putting it in the opposite position from what I just had it, if that makes sense to you. And I'm trying to keep track of my tail there so that I don't cut it off. And now I'm trimming the other side. And I'm going to go through with my scissors and trim the other side of this pom-pom now as I continue to trim and cut it down to the size that I want. And you see there's some more loops there that need to be trimmed. And I'm just kind of going around and trying to get it all even. I admit I had a little bit of trouble this time with this, more than I have in the other times. Of course, when you go to film, you're going to have a little more trouble than normal. I'm going to shake this out, and I'm going to use a pom-pom that I've already made ahead of time as my gauge. I made a few of them to see what size I wanted for this tote. So I have what I'm going to use as a template. So here's my pom-pom, that's my template, and I'm going to take the one I'm showing you that I'm making, and I'm going to cut it down to this size, to the one on the right. And so I'm going to begin doing that, and this is the process where you just begin trimming till you get it to where you want it. You see how nice and tight that is on the right? That gives you a fluffy, kind of dense looking pom-pom, and that's exactly what I am looking for here. Okay, I am done with my trimming here, and you can see that it's much smaller, it's more dense, it has that puffy look that I want. I still have a few stray pieces there, and so I'm probably going to go over it one more time and trim here, trim there. It's kind of a never-ending process. I'll always look again and be like, oh, there's one more that I need to trim right there. So you just trim, trim, trim. It's messy. You're going to want to have, a blanket or plastic or something down you can just get rid of. And ta-da! Here you have it. Here is your pom-pom. That is one down. I only have 9 more to go to finish this DIY that I'm trying to do. But remember, I am trying to save money here. Okay, I have all my pom-poms, and so I'm going to get ready to put them on my tote. So I'm going to spread them out evenly, by counting the ridges there, and I can divide, and I'm going to do 5 on each side so I can figure out how to space them equally and attach them to the tote. And I'm going to be using an embroidery needle, an embroidery thread, and you see these tails here? They are still attached to my, my center loop that's holding my pom-pom together. So I'm going to be taking that embroidery needle and I'm going to be sliding it through that, that piece of yarn in the middle to secure it. And then I'll be cutting these tails off after I have that secured in the needle, and I can bring it back through the tote and sew it in place. I am just loosely threading my needle here. Here I'm actually showing you that I'm bringing my needle through my tote and that I'm going to slide it through that center piece of yarn that's holding the pom-pom together, because sewing it that way and securing it that way is going to make sure it's nice and secure to my tote bag. And I'm just showing you here how I'm doing that, and then I'm bringing the needle and the thread back through the other side of the tote, and you see how it's going to secure it to the tote. And then I'm going to bring it back through the other side, and then I'll snip it, and I will tie it a few times on the inside, make a couple good knots to make sure that it is secure the way I want it. So here you see I'm tying it. I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to continue to do it for the rest of the pom-poms on this side of the tote, and then I will move on to the other side of the tote. There's my stitch, and I'm just going to follow my ridge all the way over to the other side so that I'm sure that I line up my pom-poms correctly with each other so that they look even on each side. Here's how it looks when it's done before I add the tassels to the tote bag. I decided to purchase tassels because I was having a hard time finding the right color. I didn't like the dark brown color that you saw in the beginning and when I first took that picture. So in the end, I decided to order some tassels off of Amazon. I mean, where else, right? And they were in the right color that I wanted. This is pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to take the rings and you're going to slide them through. This is the most expensive portion. These were $9.99 a piece. So I spent a little more than I wanted to, but I am happy with the result. And this cost me about maybe $30, and I'm really loving the way it turned out. The Anthropologie tote had leather on it. Obviously, this one is not going to have leather on it, but I'm really happy with the colors. They turned out very similar to the Anthropologie bag, so I'm happy with this DIY. And if you liked what you saw here, please give me a like or a comment. If you'd like to see more videos, I also do shopping videos. You can subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you, and I'll see you in the next video.